something or other.
Yeah, you can see why the Hindus worship the cow, huh? There's something there in those eyes.
Well, you know the story of that also?
The stomachs, the manure.
Well, the spiritual part of it is the fact that they're innocent. That's why they worship them. They're just like a newborn baby.
The cows.
Yeah. They look at the world as just in the moment as it is.
Yeah.
That's the zen of, I guess you could say, the stupidity of a cow, right? Is that they're not thinking the future, they're not morbid about the past, they're just there in the moment, you know? So that's why they worship them in India. It's that zen mentality of the moment of the cow, you know? They're just there.
I've heard several different, I'm sure they're all real, I've heard several different things. Like one also is the milk that you drink is kind of like, it's like just like when a baby drinks the milk of the mother. It keeps you alive and sustains you. So milk was one of the first things like from animals that the people were drinking. But then also that the cow has like what, 3 stomachs inside. So the reason we use its shit as manure is because those 3 stomachs line that shit with all these different microorganisms, and it's the best compost there is for growing food. And so that's because of its 3 stomachs. And then I don't know what
you're talking about
the practical reasons.
But it's all of the above.
Yeah. I mean, I find out with all animals, they're always present. You know, like dogs, and you know, like none of them are ever.
It just happens to be prevalent animal for them, and also the ones giving life with milk and everything else.
I know, and I always have this like fantasy or this romantic notion that humans 1,000, 2,000, however many thousand years ago were also more present. Right. But they were just like us. They still were cursed by the mind. You know, they still had to deal with this ego and all this, and they knew it. You know, they still could appreciate the cow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They weren't different. They were human.
Yeah, I think maybe we've just complicated it more.
Yeah.
Probably the basics was all the same horse shit.
I mean, I've heard it said that it wasn't until written language, like glyphs, you know, alphabet, that thought came to be, that mind came to be, and before that, and then there's records in those like early texts of, you know, people starting to write and talk, like have a organized language, so to speak, that they didn't know what to make of it in their heads because it was new. It was like demons. They couldn't get rid of them, like demons haunting them. Because before that, when there's no like talking, like a monkey, I guess, there's no inner dialogue. Yeah. That they're just like, you know, you're there. Like you're there. You're just like a cow. Then you start, language comes and it creates an inner dialogue because we have the capacity for that in our brain. And then these early people didn't know what it was because it was like a new phenomenon, you know, in their DNA.
Then you create gods.
Yeah, right. And here we are.
Somewhere. Had to come from somewhere. Yeah, and then, you know, then you get organizations and governments, they want to dissolve the idea of the individual so they can, you know, so they can control people, or at least have them move together as a force so that there's a unit, right? So you build these groups, and then the next thing is, let's find an outside source, an outside threat that can keep everybody unified.
Keep them at bay. Keep them scared.
Yeah. Which is, you know, so obvious now.
So ridiculously obvious, huh? Deal with it every
crazy, right?
Yeah, but will it still drive us crazy even if we make it pretty?
It's just the lesson is life is what you think it is, no matter where you are.
You're giving me some gold here. You guys are chilling so hard. It's beautiful. What's up? Nope.